In my last video, which was very well received, and I thank you for that, we talked about who the 3 heads of the dragon were. But in the comment section, I've received comment after comment on a different person being the 3rd head of the dragon, and that was Tyrion Lannister. So in this video, we're going to talk about why people believe Tyrion Lannister could be the 3rd head of the dragon, and if he truly is. What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this one is Tyrion the 3rd head of the dragon? Well, if you watched my last video, then you know exactly how I feel about that. Speaking of my last video, I got a great response, and I wanted to thank you for it because you people made that happen. And how you did that was thumb upping the video and leaving comments. That helps immensely. Now, in the comment section, I've seen a lot of people saying they believe that Tyrion was the 3rd head of the dragon. So in this video, I'm going to point out why people believe this, and I'm also going to tell you why I believe that this cannot be true. Now, being a fan of this series, you may have heard this theory before because it has been floated about for many years, and that is that Tyrion's real father was the Mad King Aerys II, but it originates from the novels with a history only hinted at during the show. Tywin's most trusted confidant was his wife Joanna, and it was said over and over again that she was the only person who could make Tywin smile. And when she passed away, he was not the same man that he was before her death. Although he served as hand of the king and was one of his oldest friends, rumors long persisted that Aerys II was overly fond of Joanna himself, both before and after Tywin married. Now, in the court and throughout the land, there was a history between the 3, which involved a lot of rumors, some talk of affair, inappropriate jokes, and behavior. Now, all these insults sometimes really happened, and sometimes they were just perceived. Now, what's important to understand for this theory is Aerys was long enamored of Joanna, and his own king's guardsman, Barristan Selmy, tells Daenerys this in A Dance with Dragons. A Dance with Dragons, Daenerys 7. As you command. The White Knight chose his words with care. Prince Aerys. As a youth, he was taken with a certain lady of Casterly Rock, a cousin of Tywin Lannister's. When she and Tywin wed, your father drank too much wine at the wedding feast and was heard to say that it was a great pity that the Lord's right to the first night had been abolished. A drunken jape, no more. But Tywin Lannister was not a man to forget such words, or the liberties your father took during the bedding. His face reddened. I have said too much, your grace. Now, we know that this was the case, that Prince Aerys was infatuated with Tywin's wife, Joanna Lannister. And we know because Barristan Selmy is a very honorable man, he's not going to make up a lie. Now, we know that nothing happened in this case because he says that he wished that the first night rights were not abolished, but he did take certain liberties. So these liberties he took most likely was, a little aggressive, maybe a smack on the booty, maybe doing more than that. I'm sure it was something else, but it wasn't sex is what I'm saying. They did not have sex at this time. It was during a tournament in King's Landing in 272 AC where Aerys insulted Joanna, and this led to Tywin resigning the next day, which Aerys refused to accept. Now, in less than a year of visiting King's Landing, Joanna died, giving birth to Tyrion. Now, Aerys had said that the gods gave Tywin a dwarf son to teach him humility. And this is basically the theory why people believe that Tyrion is the son of Mad King Aerys, which would make him the 3rd head of the dragon. And I'm saying this, that I believe that it's a great theory. I truly do. But I do not believe that it is true. So let's go over the points of it. Now, one of the reasons people believe that Tyrion is the Mad King's son is the fact that his mother died during childbirth. They like to say that only a Targaryen could breed another Targaryen, and if other people get involved, they usually die in childbirth. And they look at Lyanna Stark and say this is proof of that. Well, if we look at the Targaryen history, we can see that there have been many women who were not Targaryens that successfully gave birth to Targaryen babies. We need only to look at Aegon IV, the Unworthy. This guy had 4 kids with Megget, who was from the Riverlands, 3 kids with Bellagrya Orthes, the Black Pearl of Bravos, who was a Summer Islander, 1 child with Barbara Bracken, 3 kids with Melissa Blackwood. All these people had all these kids and all survived. If you would like to look at modern times, then we just need to look no further than Ilya Martell, who gave birth to 2 Targaryen kids. In order for this theory to hold weight, all these people should have died after the first kid. That means to me that that cannot be a reason why Tyrion is a Targaryen. Another reason people believe that Tyrion is a Targaryen and not a Lannister is because Tywin hates him so much. And we do hear Tywin say certain things that could lend you to believe that he himself knows that Tyrion is not his child.
Why?
Why? You ask that? You who killed your mother to come into the world? You are an ill-made, spiteful little creature, full of envy, lust, and low cunning. Men's laws give you the right to bear my name and display my colors, since I cannot prove that you are not mine.
So by hearing this, I can understand why people may say, hey, Tywin knows something. Tywin knows this is not his kid. That's why he hates him. But truly, that's not the case. We can hear from Tywin's first statement why he truly hates Tyrion.
Why? You ask that? You who killed your mother to come into the world?
And the fact that he blames him for taking the woman he loves is the reason why he hates him so much. Plus, he hates the fact that he's a dwarf. He looks at that as a slight against him.
To teach me humility, the gods have condemned me to watch you waddle about, wearing that proud lion that was my father's sigil and his father's before him.
Tywin Lannister's biggest problem is he's consumed by pride. 2 kinds of pride. Pride of power and pride of appearance. Now, pride of power is a hubristic pride that is linked to power over others and control. Many people use hubristic pride as a way of getting dominance. But the kind of power that leads to is very different than the kind of power that authentic pride leads to.
He's a Lannister. Might be the lowest of the Lannisters, but he's one of us. And every day that he remains a prisoner, the less our name commands respect.
Now, taking pride in your appearance is usually a good thing. But if you take too much pride in your appearance and care too much what other people think about you, this could make you seem vain, egocentric, and also shallow.
So the Lion does concern himself with the opinions
No, that's not an opinion, it's a fact. If another house can seize one of our own and hold him captive with impunity, we are no longer a house to be feared.
And since it seems like Tywin first produced 2 perfect children in Jaime and Cersei, his own pride, his own ego, and his hatred for the fact that Tyrion killed the woman that he loves will not allow him to fully believe and recognize that Tyrion is his son.
You're no son of mine. I am your son. I have always been your son.
Tyrion is the manifestation of what Tywin Lannister truly is. Tyrion's appearance is meant to represent what House Lannister truly is underneath their golden, beautiful looks. That is why if you think that Tyrion is a Targaryen because Tywin said these things, I have to say that that's not a good enough reason to make Tyrion a Targaryen. Another reason why people say Tyrion is a Targaryen is because the dragons let him free them. So they're saying that he had some form of bond with these dragons and the dragons sniffed him while he was doing this. Well, if that was the case and the dragons only responded to Targaryens, then how do we explain the woman who taught Daenerys how to get her freak on, how the dragons responded to her?
He loves you.
And we also seen other people in the books be able to create bonds with dragons. Nettles did so by feeding the dragon. Dragons are intelligent creatures, and they have seen Tyrion with Daenerys before. And also, he is setting them free, so it benefits them. So that's the reason why I believe they allowed him to set them free. Now, I know that also people say if we look at Tyrion's eye color, that will prove that he is a Targaryen. Well, Tyrion's eye color is black and green. He does have two mismatched eyes. We know the green is associated with the Lannisters, but what is the black associated with? People try to look at Sierra Seastar and say because she had two different color eyes and she was a Targaryen, that makes Tyrion Targaryen. Well, the color of her eyes were blue and green, and blue is something that is associated with Targaryens. Blue and purple eyes. Tyrion has none of those colors at all in his eyes. If he had at least one, maybe we could talk about it, but the fact that he doesn't have either, I have to say that that's a reason why Tyrion Lannister is not a Targaryen, and finally, he is not the third head of the dragon. But you tell me what you think in the comment section. Do you still believe that Tyrion is the third head of the dragon, or are you rolling with the Don Tony Teflon? Either way, put it in the comment section. Please, I beg of you, thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.